Welcome to Learn English Road. Today, we bring you a powerful story of one woman's courage, her endless love, and the strength only a mother can have. This is not just a story, it's a reminder that even in the darkest times, love can light the way. Sit back, and let your heart listen.
Let me tell you the story of a woman named Reena. She lived in a tiny village in India, in a house made of mud and tin sheets. It was small, cold, and when it rained, water came through the roof. But to Reena, that broken little house was home. She was only 28, a young mother, with 2 children, a son named Raju, just 8, and a daughter named Meena, only 6. But she had no husband. He had left them 2 years ago. Said he was going to the city to find work. And then, he vanished. No letters, no money, no goodbye. At first, Reena cried every night, alone in the dark, scared, tired, lost. But one morning, she looked at her sleeping children and whispered to herself, "I must be strong. I am their mother. They only have me." And from that moment, everything changed. Reena had no job, no money, and no support from anyone. But she had strong hands and a stronger heart. So she started washing clothes for rich families in the village. Day after day, her hands became rough, red, and cracked from the soap and water. Her back ached, her body hurt, but she kept going. Sometimes, she walked 5 kilometers just to find more work, carrying heavy bundles of wet clothes on her head, through the sun and the rain. Her feet bled, but she didn't stop. Because 2 little children were waiting at home. There were nights when there was almost nothing to eat. Raju would say, "Ma, I'm still hungry." Reena would smile and say, "Don't worry, my son. Tomorrow we'll have more." Then, she would quietly go to bed, with an empty stomach. Just so her children could eat. One winter, Meena fell sick, fever, shivering, crying. Reena had no money for medicine or a doctor. So she sat beside her all night, putting cool cloths on her daughter's forehead, praying, whispering, "Please, please don't take her away from me." By morning, Meena opened her eyes, and softly said, "Ma." And that one word was the greatest gift Reena ever received. Time passed. The children grew. One day, Raju came home and said, "Ma, I want to become a teacher." And Reena felt something rise in her heart. Pride, hope. "Yes, my son," she said, "you will be a great teacher." From that day, Reena made education her mission. She bought old books from markets. She stitched their uniforms with her own hands. She lit a small lantern every night so they could study. Even when they fell asleep on their books, Reena covered them with a blanket and whispered, "One day, your dreams will come true." But life didn't become easier. One year, heavy rains flooded the village. Water rushed into their small house. Clothes, books, food, everything was ruined. Reena held her children and climbed to the roof. They sat in the rain, cold and shaking, waiting for the water to go down. After the flood, Reena didn't cry. She picked up mud, brick by brick, and rebuilt the house with her own hands. Villagers who once whispered behind her back, now watched in silence. And slowly, They began to respect her. When Raju turned 15, something amazing happened. He won a scholarship. He had scored the highest marks in his class. The teachers said, "He is one of the brightest students we've ever seen." Reena cried tears of joy. Raju said, "Ma, I want to go to the city and study more." Reena was afraid. The city was big, dangerous, expensive. But she also knew this was his chance. So, she sold her only gold earring, her last memory from her wedding day, and gave him the money. "Go, my son," she said. "Go and shine." With Raju gone, Meena stayed by Reena's side. She helped with chores. She studied hard. "I want to be a nurse. Ma," she said. "I want to help people who are sick." Reena smiled. "And you will, my sweet girl." A kind neighbor gave Reena an old sewing machine. She taught herself how to stitch blouses, saris, school uniforms. Soon, people started coming to her for work. She became known as the village tailor. Bit by bit, rupee by rupee, she saved for Meena's education too. Then one day, after many years, a letter came. It was from Deepak, Reena's husband. He was alive. He said he had been in an accident, lost his memory. Someone found him in a hospital and helped him remember. He wrote, "Please forgive me, I want to come back." Reena sat for a long time with that letter in her hands. For years, she had fought alone. She had worked, cried, starved, smiled through pain. Could she forgive him? She thought of her children, of their strength, their courage, their future. And she wrote back, "I forgive you, but we have moved on. Our lives are full of light now." And oh, how that light shined. Raju became a teacher, a good one, a kind one. He came back to the village, built a new home for his mother. Strong, warm, safe. Meena became a nurse. She worked at a local clinic. She gave free treatment to poor families. They gave their mother everything she had once given him: love, care, respect, peace. Reena no longer washed clothes or stitched all day. Now, she planted flowers, drank tea on her porch, smiled at the sky. The villagers called her Maji, the mother of the village. And when young mothers came to her and asked, "Maji, how did you do it? How did you survive alone?" she simply smiled and said, "A mother's love is her biggest strength. When you love your children, nothing is impossible." This is not the story of a woman who was abandoned. It is the story of a woman who rose, who fought, who loved, who believed, and because of her, 2 little children became 2 bright stars. And the world became just a little bit better. This is a mother's strength.
Before we finish, let's take a quick look at some useful words from today's story. These are simple, important words that can help you understand and speak English more confidently. Let's go through them together. Just take your time and listen carefully. Mouths to feed. People, especially children, to take care of and provide food for. Scholarship. Money given to a student to help pay for their studies. Lantern. A portable light, often used where there's no electricity. Stitch. To sew fabric with a needle and thread. Earring. A piece of jewellery worn on the ear. Porch. A small area outside the front door of a house. Legacy. Something valuable passed from one generation to the next. Thank you for watching this story. Please give it a like and don't forget to subscribe for more inspiring stories and English learning content. Check the description below for more helpful phrases, vocabulary, and questions to help you practice and improve.